G'day there guys, my name's Marky and welcome back to some more stories from Reddit. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and let's get right into it. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my girlfriend over her parents? I, 23 male, have been dating a girl for about a year and 3 months now. When we first got together, she warned me that her parents, mainly her father, is a bit crazy. And boy was she right. When we first got together, everything was good. No issues with them, and I heard good things back from her that her parents liked me. Her dad's a very straight and narrow type of guy. His way or the highway. He has a lot of control over her. She has a curfew and isn't allowed to stay over whatsoever. Don't even think about it. Which I can somewhat respect considering she still lives at home, etc. She's not allowed to attend any of the weekend trips that me and my family go on, even though her parents are invited to them as well. There was one instance where he did say yes that she could go on one camping trip with me and my family, and what an F-up. We were lying in bed at night about to go to bed. We have very limited service where we are, so text messages and phone calls kinda come when they want to. She gets a text message from her mother saying to call her ASAP. We blast out to the road to try and gain some better cell service for a phone call. She reaches her mother, and her mother tells her that she is here to pick her up. We passed by her on the way out, but didn't clue that it was her. We meet up with her mother, and she says that her father sent her up here to get her. We're about 5 hours from home. So here we are thinking something terrible has happened for her to drive 5 hours to come get her, only to find out that he just wants her home and regrets saying yes to her going. We stood there and talked for roughly 2 hours, and her mother insulted me multiple times for reason as dumb as the genre of music I like. Let me remind you that her parents were invited on this trip, but they chose to stay home. They both end up staying with me and my family for the night. Her mother waking up and leaving before the sun rose due to fear of embarrassment. She goes home later that weekend to find that her mother is in trouble with her father because she went up there and tried to get my girlfriend to come home, which would then go against his word that she could go. Then my girlfriend was also in trouble for not listening to her mother. Sounds crazy, right? Well, just wait. Her mother has always been nice to me, making me coffees and sending me home with leftovers, etc. Her father has always been nice to me as well, even though he always has something to say behind my back to my girlfriend for something as small as the vehicle I drive isn't a high-quality, long-lasting Toyota. He's just like me, for real. Toyota Corolla #1. Just recently, for Family Day, I invited her family up to my father's house to go ATVing. Something I've done on a few occasions, but they've never taken me up on my offer. But this time they did. The morning of when they were supposed to come, her dad says he isn't feeling well. Which is fine, no pressure. He ends up saying that he's going to pass, but that her mum can still go, and he'll load the ATVs for her, and she and my girlfriend can go together. So the ATVs are loaded, trucks packed, and they're ready to leave. At the last minute, he says to her that this isn't a good idea because she's never towed this specific trailer with this truck. She's been driving big trucks and trailers for over 30 years. They owned a landscaping company together. She ends up starting to second guess herself and ends up bailing too, but she still decides to come up and she'll just ride one of our machines. The day goes by, we have an amazing day, and she goes home to find him in a fit of rage that she went out without him and all this other stuff from past experiences with her. Nothing bad. She's a very good wife and mother. He's just out to lunch. He ends up kicking her mother out for this and she goes and stays at a friend's house. A few days go by and she comes back and they talk. My girlfriend overhears them talking about me, mainly him yelling at her and she's just listening. He tells her that she emotionally cheats on him with me because of how nice and helpful she is with me. The coffees, leftovers, etc. Turns out he doesn't like that she's nice to me because I haven't put in the work. I'm not sure what that means. He can't even explain it himself. I have helped them around the house many times, from yard cleanup to cooking dinner and breakfast. This is getting to the point where he's mentally abusing all of us, and he's playing mental gymnastics to get them to listen to him and go by what he says. No one's allowed an opinion or an option. He just recently said that I'm not allowed at their place anymore, which is extremely hard on my girlfriend to do all of the driving, as we live about an hour apart. In the past, he's complained that I don't come down enough, and now I'm not allowed at all for next to no reason other than his wife is nice to me. They stopped sleeping in the same bed, and he got mad at her for sleeping in the same bed that I usually sleep in when I stay over there, saying that she's only sleeping in that bed because I did. He got so mad that he punched a wall in the door while she was trying to sleep. When they both listen to him and abide by his crazy rules, the house runs smooth. When they don't, it's like the sky is falling in on itself. There has been many instances like the one that I just explained over the years that my girlfriend has explained to me. Her mother has been kicked out over a dozen times for stuff as small as this. She is a battered woman, and everyone who she talks to is telling her to leave. Me, my family, her boss, her family, and even the women's shelter she called told her to leave. She won't, so I gave up trying with her. She recently booked a trip for her and my girlfriend to go to England to see her mother. Her dad has a big fear of airplanes, so he does not fly. Over the whole family day situation, he made her cancel the trip to England, saying how if she didn't, then she didn't love him. I should also mention that my girlfriend's mother's mother is currently being treated for cancer, and she hasn't seen her in over 10 years. She does end up canceling the trip, and my girlfriend is devastated over it, and rightfully so. Anyways, there's lots more to this. This is just a drop in the bucket, but that's the main juicy stuff. Things are okay between her and I, but she always seems to get sucked into his crazy narcissistic ways, saying she's a terrible daughter and that her mother is an idiot for letting her date me, etc. I recently offered to let her move in with me to escape this, but she seems hesitant to leave them. I'm not going to twist her arm that if she doesn't leave to stay with me that I'm going to break up with her, but I frankly want absolutely nothing to do with her family anymore, and that's not healthy for her, or I don't think it is. I feel bad leaving her over her family stuff, but I have to deal with these people for the rest of my life, and I just know that I won't be able to do it. I feel lost and muddy on how to deal with this. I don't see us lasting much longer if she stays with her family, because I will not deal with their stupid small bullshit issues with me and her dating, mainly her father, and her mother is just a spitting image of him due to reasons that I've stated above. A lot of their marital issues are blamed on my girlfriend because her father is not approachable on anything, so her mother does it for her, and that causes issues. Edit. Wow, I didn't expect this much of a response. Thank you. To answer some commonly asked questions, my girlfriend is 20, people keep missing it, we've been dating 1 year and 3 months approximately, we are both white, I have not broken up with her yet, I've just been considering it because of how bad things are with her family. I wasn't sure if it was right or fair of me to do that. My girlfriend is an only child, and she has said previously that she worries about what will happen to her parents if she leaves, especially her mum. And she thinks that her mum will be blamed for her leaving, which I agree with. And my girlfriend is also not the rebellious type, so I think doing something that she knows is blatantly against what her parents would want scares her. In the comments, Cora Persephone 11 says, "Not the asshole. Her father is a problem, not her or you. He's also not going to change, but she's not ready to leave home yet because it's very hard to leave an abusive situation, even if you're an adult. She might also be concerned that her presence is protecting her mother a little bit, and that things will get so much worse if she's not there. That's why I lived with my parents until I was 30. Definitely not healthy. Both mum and daughter need to escape, but that first step can be terrifying." OP says she's shared that fear with me before, that she's afraid that everything will crumble if she's not there, and that her mum will bear the brunt of the fallout. I think she once described it as being afraid that her mum will be punished for her gaining her freedom. Before you split, please give her a link to Why Does She Do That by Lundy Bancroft. It's free online, you just have to Google it. Unfortunately, recognizing the abuse doesn't mean that she is immune to the shitty effects on her. Not the asshole though. Okay, so there is a lot happening here. You're not the asshole for breaking up with her over this. Her father is incredibly abusive to both her and her mother. Both her and her mother need to get the hell out of that house, and they both need some serious therapy. When you break up with her, ensure you specify why exactly you're breaking up with her. Tell her that the dynamics between her and her mother and father are not healthy, that her father is abusive and controlling to both her and her mother. Let her know that you wish her the best and hope that she can get out, but that you can no longer date her due to the level of turmoil and vitriol that he brings to your life. I'm once again being hit by lost comment syndrome, because I completely agree with that. That's a great strategy. Definitely not the asshole for breaking up with your girlfriend over this, and I think it'd be mean to say that this is a not your circus, not your monkeys situation. Because yes, while that's true, I can see where your girlfriend is coming from here. She's raised in an abusive household. This is normalized for her. Abuse and unstable foundations are her normal. So yeah, while she may recognize that this situation is not okay with her mother and father, I imagine it would take a lot for her to have those conversations and be like, we need to get out of here, you need to get out of this relationship, we need to make a plan. I don't think you have to do anything besides breaking up, like obviously look out for yourself, but also not like guiding her on how to help get out of a situation like that. And, maybe having a talk to her mother as well, privately. I feel like in a way, you'd morally be doing the wrong thing. Seeing evil, knowing that you can help fix the situation and not doing anything about it. Update. First off, thanks to everyone for taking the time to respond. I wasn't expecting so many comments and so much advice. We also both really appreciate everyone's care and concern for my girlfriend's situation. It meant a lot to us both. I took everyone's advice and sat my girlfriend down for a chat before I made any permanent decisions. Despite being on Reddit asking about breaking up with her, I would actually like to keep her around. I did what a lot of you suggested and explained how I'm feeling with the situation with her parents and how much it puts on me. I told her how I don't see a happy future for either of us if things don't take a drastic change. I explained how when I look at my life, the most stressful part is her parents, and it shouldn't be that way. I also told her that I don't feel good bringing any future kids into that situation, and that my days shouldn't be spent worrying about her and her family constantly and waiting for the next big blow-up. She was super upset that I was at the point of ending it with her. She reminded me of how she made me promise that I wouldn't ditch her because of her parents, which made me feel very guilty. I told her that I love her and I don't want to hurt her, but I also need to protect myself too. She said she understands that completely, and it's along the same line of reasoning for why she wants to move out, that she loves her parents but has to protect herself. She apologized several times for letting it go this far and dragging me into it. I could tell that she felt absolutely horrible about it, which made me feel horrible in return. Something must have finally flipped for her because she asked if the offer of moving in was still on the table, and I told her that it absolutely was. I asked her why she changed her mind, and she said that she could never look at her parents the same for being the reason she lost a good guy who she loves, and that she didn't want to go backwards anymore. So she moved out, told her dad where he could stuff it, and I'm happy to say that we're unpacking her stuff and getting her settled in as I type this out. She also has agreed to severely limit contact with her parents, and any contact she chooses to have with them will have nothing to do with me, and they'll have no place in our lives as a couple unless we're both okay with it. In the comments, Me Folly says, "And couples therapy so you two can learn to build a healthy future?" Even if she can't or won't or isn't ready to do individual therapy to unpack her family relationships, you can truthfully say that doing couples therapy is her gift to you, proof that both of you want to work together. OP says, "We would love to get into therapy, and I know she wants to do individual counseling, but it's expensive here and usually has a long wait list." There are so many resources available to you and your partner, regardless of income. It's about need. Look into counseling. I think you're both making a huge leap, and that help may take your success to a new level. Try it again. Keep looking for resources. I swear on my life, you both will find something if you just look. Look while on the toilet or sitting in bed or the couch. You can do it. There are amazing things out there. Just look. Good luck. You should understand that when someone leaves an abusive relationship, it doesn't always take the first time. Her relationship with her father has been abusive, but it's all she's ever known. It's her normal. If she's not in therapy, then she needs to be. Therapy will help her to understand how to be in healthy relationships. My mum was always like this. Had to be in complete control of everything. Was always right, never wrong. She still wonders why I enlisted the day after graduating high school and didn't talk to her for 3 years. I had a good friend in high school, and her brother committed while at college. Her family changed immediately. Her parents took complete control of her life and hated letting her out of their sight. When she went to college, her parents moved to that city and she lived with them and went to class. Afterwards, she was not allowed to go on any trips unless they came as well. They came to our wedding as her +2. They are not allowing her to get her own job or anything. It seemed suffocating. This father is going to go postal. I hope the mum gets out before she gets killed. OP better make sure they have security cameras and dash cameras for when the angry and irrational father inevitably shows up. The poor mum is a classic abused woman. We can only hope that she comes to her senses if she survives after he ends up putting her in the hospital. It's coming. Not a matter of if, but when. Girlfriend's father is abusive and controlling to both women in his life. Terrible. Yeah, I don't think it's a completely happy ending there because I wanted them to do something for the mother, but they just abandoned her. And sometimes that's the most you can do. I completely understand where they're coming from, and I completely understand they had to do that to get girlfriend back on the right track. But this is just one of those situations where life isn't fair sometimes, because if they do intervene, I can't imagine it's going to go well, and there's going to be hell to pay for the father. This is like North Korea, where if you escape the country, all of your family and all of the relatives as well get sent to a work camp. Like, it's great that you get your freedom, but your family is sentenced to a life of hell for your freedom. I hope that we get another update in the future as to the mother being safe. I don't want to hear an update with her being in the hospital. I don't think I could handle that. Anyway, OP, I hope that you read the comments of that last post and take some of the advice from other people there. Thank you for sharing your story. Our next post is by user PlainRoof8162, titled, "Am I the asshole for telling my dad's ex that she could have been my mum if she didn't cheat on my dad?" Let me describe my family a bit. I am the youngest of 4 children, by far the youngest. I have 2 older brothers and 1 older sister. My mum is my dad's second wife. From his first wife, I have an older half-sister who is 3 years older than my oldest full sibling. His first wife, his childhood friend, cheated on him way before, and after my dad made sure that my half-sister was his, he divorced her. He met my mum a few years later, and they tied the knot, and the rest is history. My half-sister has always been welcome in our house. She gets along really well with all of us and even calls my mum auntie. Her mum, though, has always been a bit of a harpy. She hates my mum for many reasons, outside of, she stole my man. My mum is a retired fitness model and currently a Pilates instructor, so she looks really good for her age, while the other looks more average and plump. So she would always make snarky remarks like, "Oh, did you gain weight?" or "Are you pregnant again?" Even though my mum never stopped taking care of herself. With me though, she dotes on me and calls me the son that she never had. With my older siblings, she mostly just ignores them. So my half-sister is getting married, and my dad and his ex agreed to split the cost of the wedding 50-50. My dad doesn't care about planning for the wedding, so he left all of it to the ex and the bride. During one of our meet and greet dinners, my half-sister revealed that she also invited my dad's estranged brother and parents. I can still remember my dad shooting a glare of pure anger at her. I asked my mum later why he reacted like that. I never met my uncle or grandparents on my dad's side, but from how my mum spoke, my dad's ex cheated on him with his brother, and his parents knew it for years before confessing. So my half-sister could really have been my aunt or something if the sperm chase went wrong. Oh, why did you have to say it like that? That's crazy. I don't want to think about that. My dad's ex was together with my dad's brother for a while after she and my dad divorced, but split soon after. And my dad refused to forgive his family for fooling him like that, and he went no contact with them for 25 years. So back to the dinner, my dad asked in a very stern yet quiet voice why she would, and my half-sister, want to make her wedding more meaningful by also having a family reunion, and her mother supported her. She told my dad to bury the hatchet, at least for her daughter. My dad said that she didn't have any right to tell him how to act. On her way out, my dad's ex and I bumped into each other, and she commented to me how she hoped that I wouldn't have a chip on my shoulder like my dad does. If not for that, they could still be one whole happy family. I didn't like her tone and reminded her that she was the one who cheated and broke the family. And I told her that she could have been my mom. That last part made her cry like crazy as she ran out of the house. My dad asked me what happened, and I told him, and he just grunted. Did I go too far? In the comments, Assistant's OK says, not the asshole. She constantly talks shit about your mum, makes a snarky comment about your dad, and you responded. Oh well, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I'm shocked that your dad is still going to the wedding though. How mature of him. And OP says, well, my dad is struggling with that at the moment. He really doesn't want to see his brother and parents because he says that there are lines that family don't cross. I mean, honestly, I think he should have had a conversation with your sister, emphasizing that this would not be a family reunion. He hasn't talked to them in 25 years. I highly doubt 26 would be hard for him. If she can't respect that, then I totally understand him backing out physically. Not the asshole. Your dad didn't grunt. He had to act like he disliked what you said so that you don't do it again. But on the inside, he probably was happy that you one-upped her. OP says, maybe. He didn't say anything else after that and just left. If it were my dad, it could have been the equivalent of, I've never been more proud of you in my life. A dad grunt is one of the most versatile forms of communication. I honestly feel if he didn't approve, he would have been vocal again. If you were like my dad, which is all I have to go on. Not the asshole. And your sister is an idiot. 1. Weddings are not the place for reunions like this. Plus, your dad doesn't want to reunite. All she's doing is setting herself up for her wedding to be a clustercluck when your dad's family attempts to approach any of you guys, or when her mother, who loves drama, makes snarky and crude comments that involve them. The way I would ignore/be rude if any of my dad's family tried to come up to me or make small talk after what they pulled. Ew. Your dad's better than me because I don't think I would even go. I'd have a serious conversation with half-sister about why she's choosing these people that she barely knows, who hurt her father so deeply, over him. And 2, all you did was tell the truth. Honestly, I would just stop engaging with her at all. Why even entertain or fake politeness with someone who constantly disparages your mother? Every time she makes one of her dumbass comments, she just stares blankly at her like she doesn't exist or doesn't matter. Guarantee that would piss her off even more. She enjoys the drama and attention, giving her absolutely nothing. Not the asshole. OP says, she's a bit of an airhead to be honest. After the divorce, she more or less went back and forth between her mum and my dad. I think after all the context you provided, you're not the asshole for that, but your sister is a gigantic asshole for, making this happen. I have no clue what she's thinking, but I'd imagine it's some shenanigans with the ex. That head of hers is full of hot air and black holes. Because if she had 2 brain cells to rub together, this would have never happened. She might have brought it up to her father and been like, hey, what do you think of this plan? And he would have been like, are you out of your mind? Are you crazy? Are you trying to have me go no contact with you as well? Is that what you want to happen? All that to say, I love what you had to say to the XOP. Keep it up and write some new stuff down because I want to see more smackdowns. Not the asshole. Update. Wow, I didn't expect so much response for my first ever post on Reddit. Thank you so much for all of your comments. I'm glad that at least I wasn't being cruel. My dad's ex just bawled so much and so suddenly that I thought that I did something awful and I was worried. As of now, I don't really know what my dad's going to do. I know that my mum and dad are talking about it, but he really seems conflicted. I thought about asking him, but my oldest brother told me not to. He said that I had nothing to do with it, so I shouldn't bother him. But my full siblings and I just talked to my half-sibling about what she had done in our WhatsApp chat tonight. First, my full sister tore my half-sister a new one, calling her all sorts of names before my brother told her to stop or leave the chat. Then he asked her why she did what she did. Turns out that her idea of including a family reunion in her wedding was an idea from our paternal grandparents and her mum. Color me surprised, wow, didn't see that one coming. Unlike myself and my full siblings, my half-sister regularly visits her grandparents and talks to them a lot about us. My grandparents apparently wanted to see us really bad, and her mum propositioned the idea. Then my second oldest brother said that while it was her wedding and she could invite whom she liked, she didn't take our father's feelings into account. There was a reason that he went no contact with them for all these years, and it wasn't up to her to try to fix burnt bridges. My half-sister then asked if he was going to pull money out of the wedding, and my sister sent a brutal message. "Is that the most important thing right now, you blank?" I added that our father hasn't told us anything. Then my half-sister said that she shouldn't have even done this to begin with, and my sister commented, "You think?" She wondered if she could unsend wedding invitations to her grandparents and uncle, but then her mum might pull her money. I sent a chat to my full siblings only chat if Dad could fund the whole wedding if that meant not inviting his brother and parents. My oldest brother told me, "Can that one, and don't bother Dad." She also asked how our dad has been, and I said that he is very conflicted and talking only to my mum about it. I then asked if her mum was okay since I made her cry. She said that her mum calmed down when they returned home. Apparently they got into an argument when she called my dad a stubborn sob. To be honest, I think she's in a very tight spot. She can either piss off our dad or her mum. I don't know what my dad is going to do, and my oldest brother already reminded me twice that this wasn't my business. I honestly think Dad would be up for paying for the entire wedding if his estranged family didn't come. Of course, it is his money though. Or maybe he's just so angry that he might pull out altogether. Edit: I didn't post the entire conversation that my full siblings and I had with my half-sister. I pulled only the relevant parts. What I was thinking when I thought my dad could pay for the entire wedding was, doesn't Dad hate his family to the point where he would pay for everything just for them not to be there? I wasn't actually suggesting he pay for everything. That's stupid. Looks like a lot of you are wondering if my half-sister knew what happened between my dad and his family. She knows that they've hurt him badly and he's never forgiven them, but not the specifics of how they had hurt him. She knew the cheating part, but not the family lied to him for years part. Apparently that's not something her mum or my dad's family discussed with her. In the comments, Tianwen2023 says, "Your sister is in a tough spot because she didn't think things through. That's on her. She messed around and found out. Don't recommend your dad to fund the whole thing because weddings are expensive and that's not your money to offer suggestions with. Your half-sister is already an asshole. Your dad doesn't need another dumbass asshole making plans with his money while disregarding his feelings. God damn, straight for the jugular. Stay out of it. Her wedding is none of your business. Let your dad decide if he wants to pull out funding or if he'll fund and decide not to attend. Don't believe whatever his ex or your half-sister say about the other side being uninvited. They pulled this bullshit now, they can ambush your dad with his relatives during the wedding day. And once all the money has been paid out, what's to stop his parents and arsehole brother from showing up regardless? I think OP's dad should pay the agreed-upon share and then decline his wedding invite, as should OP and their siblings. Half-sis is only concerned about the financial aspect of things, rather than the hurt and betrayal that she has caused. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, eh? Having her father's side of the family refuse to attend will only save her precious money. Not the arsehole. Your dad has been so disrespected in this mess. If I were him, I would pull funding of the entire shit show. Let the circus die the premature death that it's destined for. Keep supporting your dad. Good luck. When I first read this update, all I could think was that the sibling relationship just went kaboom. OP seems very naive and forgiving, but his older siblings are not happy, and his sister was the rock star of that chat. Half-sister just destroyed her relationships by siding with her cheating mum. Heck, if I was the half-sister's future husband, I'd be looking around for a door too. Let me tell you why cheating isn't as big of a deal as he's making it out to be. Nope, Chuck Tester. She decided to invite the affair partner and people that her dad, who has maintained what seems like a cordial relationship with her cheating mother for her sake, kicked out of his life 25 years ago because mummy said so. And her first question is if daddy is still paying for the wedding? The rotten apple did not fall far from the rotten tree. Using a wedding to force a reconciliation between families is one of the stupidest decisions that someone can make while getting married. It's easy to say that you should forgive that person when you're not the one who got wronged and doesn't know the details about it. There's a bunch of similar stories that show how you can nuke relationships by doing things such as 1. The runaway groom whose siblings helped him leave the altar when he finds out his fiancée secretly invited his estranged mother to the wedding. 2. The brother who got upset for not getting invited to his brother's wedding because the bride is his ex-girlfriend, who had cheated on him with brother's ex-girlfriend. His parents tried to pressure the betrayed son to invite him, but they got uninvited to the wedding as well. 3. The man who wants to cancel his wedding because his fiancée was talking about inviting his mum and stepfather, despite him saying no. He was treated like an afterthought by his mother and stepfather and got kicked out of the house once he turned into an adult. And 4. The daughter who tried to force her dad to walk down the aisle with her stepfather, the affair partner of his ex-wife and former friend. The daughter ignored his claims. He stepped out of the wedding, and she walked through the aisle with the stepfather, only to find later that her father cut her out of his life, and she only saw her father again at his funeral. And now she lives with regrets. Won't lie, OP was definitely showing a little bit of immaturity there in the story, but, when there's that big of an age and experience gap, I think that just happens sometimes. Definitely expect if there is another update to this that the father will be pulling out of the wedding entirely, and I don't blame him so because that's incredibly disrespectful by his daughter to ambush him like that and expect him to play nice with everyone that has done him so wrong in his life. I'm assuming that she thought that because he's been cordial with these people for 25 years and didn't actively cut all connection, that means, oh, I can fix this situation. He's open to reconnecting with these people. I have no brain. This is a good idea. We'll see how well that goes for her when she blows her life up with these shenanigans. Best of luck to her, I say, and best of luck to you, OP. Thank you for sharing the story with us. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!